is Mrs. Marsh. She's a really great teacher. Yeah, introduction.
Okay, thanks.
So, what were you like when you were in high school?
It's kind of embarrassing. I was a majorette in the marching band, and so I twirled a ton, and yeah, and wore like those sparkly little outfits. And I also was in student council, and I was involved in we had a literary magazine, and I was on that. I was an editor of the literary magazine. I don't know. I took Spanish, French, and German, all three languages, because I thought I was going to be a translator. So
That's one way to do it.
It was a different time. Like there weren't the kind of like requirements that you guys have for graduation back in the 70s. So I didn't take a single math class in all of high school. I took Algebra 2 in 8th grade, and then I never took any more math.
I mean, Algebra 2 in 8th grade, though, still, like, we take Algebra 2 in, like, sophomore year? Or?
It depends on, where you are.
You pulled a baton, that's...
I know, it's kind of crazy. We even twirled fire. Fire batons.
High school was different back then,
It was different, yeah.
Alright. What was your most memorable or impactful moment from your whole teaching career?
Oh my gosh. My career's been almost 40 years, so that's like too broad of a... Actually, this is my 40th year of teaching. So let's see. Most memorable or impactful?
Or you can just, like, say any memorable, I guess.
I guess... I don't know. I think that, honestly, it's all the people that I feel have been a part of my team or part of my classes where they take all my classes. And so I feel really connected to them, and that I'm still friends with many of them. That I think is the most impactful thing. When some kid who I had in class, literally a couple of years ago, a student who I had in a regular debate class, wasn't on my team, but he was also in my IB film and my video production classes. So I had him for like 3 years or something. He contacted me out of the blue on Facebook Messenger, and he said, I'm going to be back in town. He went to school in Florida. Be back in town, and I would really love to get together with you.
Oh, that's
and
sweet.
so we met up for dinner, and we talked about in school he was like kind of on he was in trouble a lot. He wasn't one of those kids who he was super smart but didn't achieve very much in high school.
I know some people.
You know some people like that, yeah. So he said that one of the reasons that he wanted to reach out to me was because I actually cared about him and knew that he was smart, and I encouraged him to do hard things, even though he didn't do them. He realized that he could do them later, and so now he's like working a PhD. So he's really, so that's kind of cool.
That's really sweet.
Yeah.
Oh. What hobbies or interests do you have outside of the classroom?
I walk a lot. I walk like 2 miles a day. That's my goal. Some days I don't get 2 miles in. Sometimes I only get a mile in because I don't get home till so late. I listen to books while I walk. I listen to fiction. I don't have time to read because of school and everything, so I listen and I walk. What else? I love to cook. I love being a grandma. I'm a Mimi actually. I'm not a grandma, I'm a Mimi. I knit when I watch TV. Like knit, yeah, and I make baby blankets. I made baby blankets for lots of teachers in this building who had babies. And for former students of mine.
He just makes me want to cry.
So, yeah.
He's gonna 100% laugh at me.
You have students who are probably parents.
Oh,
Bye, Miss Marsh.
Hi. I'm teaching now students of students I had.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, like I taught Mrs. Ford, the teacher who does sales and marketing, and I also taught her son, Grant. I taught, do you know Avery Nesbitt?
Yeah.
I taught her dad and her mom.
That's crazy.
I taught Lauren Thompson. I don't teach Cooper, but he goes to our school.
Yeah.
I taught his mom. I taught I taught Mr. Pedersen, who's the
You
assistant
taught
principal.
Mr. Pedersen?
Uh-huh. I taught Mr. Bruder, who
He's like
he used to be at Beacon, I think, the principal at Beacon, and now he's the curriculum guy at the district. Yeah. So I taught all these people.
That's.
I taught Marcus Hansen, Mr. Heike.
Oh yeah, I can see
Miss
there's a picture of
Huffman.
Heike over there.
Um,
You taught Miss Huffman?
uh-huh.
Oh my.
Miss Cricket. I taught Miss Cricket. Actually, I taught Miss Cricket. She and her husband met in my creative writing class.
That's really funny, actually.
Alright, we have to come to the light. because
So
it's
many,
all-
yeah, so many people who work in this district, across the district.
That's did you have any teaching experiences before Dexter?
Yeah, I started teaching in 1983, and I worked at Birmingham Marion High School. It was an all-girls Catholic school right next to Brother Rice. Maybe you've heard of Brother Rice. They're kind of good at sports, I guess.
Or I think I have actually.
Yeah, and so I taught there for 4 years. In '83, it was really hard to get a teaching job. There was like a glut. There's too many teachers. So working in a private school was the only place I could find a job. And then I stayed home and I had babies, and I stayed home for 2 years. And then I got a job at Sequel High School in Birmingham. And then I came here. I got here in 1994.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So I know you were originally an English teacher.
Yep, English and Spanish are my 2 certifications.
So how'd you make the transition to like teaching like for like IB or stuff?
Well, so what happened was, when I first got that very first job at Birmingham Marion, they said, we're gonna hire you only if you start a debate team, and I didn't know what debate was. So I'm like, okay, I want a job, so I'll do it. And Brother Rice had this really good team, and so I kept going over to Brother Rice and learning from their coach, and then bringing it back to the girls at the school, and so I was learning how to do debate. And so the speech, I had to get speech credit, or accreditation, so that I could teach speech because it wasn't part of the English thing. So by doing that and going back to school, because my master's degree is in American literature, so my speech certification was just like on the side, another thing I had to do.
Yeah.
I think I started to just really enjoy the differences between like how college is taught and how high school is taught. And when Dexter decided to become an IB school, I was the teacher for IB film because I had the certification to do it. Because the speech certification allows you to teach film and video production and stuff like that. And so that's how I got involved in IB. And then when the coordinator retired and left, I applied for the job to be coordinator.
Yeah. Because this was like originally it was like a video production room.
Yeah. I mean, this is where I had a room. I was in Mr. Gleaser's room, 515, and we moved into the building. That was my room. And there's still like a puzzle of the learner profile up on a mural of it in the wall up there. So anyway, so that was my room, and then the teacher who was teaching this before I came down here, he had room 400 and he had this room, so he was like in between 2 rooms. And then when he took his sabbatical and never came back, and I ended up having to teach his classes, I said, I can't have 2 rooms, we've got teachers on carts, like someone else should have my room. And I moved down here, and it was probably the best decision I made about like space, because it's so much space. It was junk. It was horrible down here when I moved in. Like this whole window was covered. You can see like the tape marks. He had tarps covering the window. It was like dark. It was like
dark.
a cave, yeah. And then that room was full of like, he also did drama, so it was full of like props and stage pieces and scenery and all that kind of stuff. And that room was just full of, remember in the olden days when we had like a TV and a VCR and you would roll them around on those carts? That was just full of like old carts and things like that. So so moving into this room was a lot of work, but I had to, but it was worth it. I think it's a great space now.
I mean, I think it looks great. I especially like I'm humped. I don't know what the word is, but there's a lot of trophies.
Well, these are just this year's. Like that's all. This is all.
All of these are just this year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The ones on the walls are old because those I didn't let kids take them all home when they were, if 2 kids went on, but now I just make them decide who's gonna take them home every year, so. But yeah, so we put this year's on here, and then at the banquet, we put them out, and everyone takes them home.
That's understood. And this one, I'm pretty sure I already know the answer. So, if we could get enough people to go, what would be like the best, like what would be the place that you would personally want to take like all the IB kids to over the summer?
Oh, 1890 kids too. Well, I really wanted to go to Australia, because
Yeah.
it's like so different, and so,
Yeah.
or maybe Japan. So
Yeah.
maybe so very different,
Right.
I would really like that.
The culture in Japan is like really cool.
I would love to go to something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
So it would be very, very interesting. I mean, I like going to Europe too. Europe is beautiful and
Yeah.
wonderful, but yeah, someplace where I'll never get otherwise,
It's just like so unique and different
Yeah.
from like what we are currently living in
Yeah.
America.
Right, exactly.
All right, well that's it.
Good, all right, thanks.
Thank you.